All right, welcome to the Beyond Blessed team call for February. Like, what month are we in? February. Here we are. I'm excited tonight because we are going to we're going to talk about vision boards or dream boards. And if you've been around Plexus for a while, then usually, once a year we talk about these. And I think that we should talk about them again. This is something that I never did prior to Plexus. I don't think I ever did anything like that. And dreaming wasn't something I did a lot of prior to Plexus. And I think a lot of moms, especially, that can happen to you naturally, but life in general, like we just kind of go through the motions and do what we need to do. And we stop thinking about big goals and dreams. And that is one thing I've loved about being a part of this community is it has really given me the opportunity to dream and think what could be and really think outside the box of anything I ever imagined for my life. And it's just been so fun to be to really get to see God work in different ways in my life because of Plexus and because of this process. And one of the books that we're reading, some of us are reading it, is Chase the Lion by Mark Batterson. And one of the very first things that he talks about in there is that when we stop dreaming, you stop living. And I was like, that is a really bold statement, but there's so much truth to it. Like when we stop dreaming of really big things, we limit ourselves and we limit our lives and we limit what God can do, and we just go through the motions. And I think God wants so much more for us than that. And I think one of the things that the last couple of years has done for me personally and for a lot of people is we've been afraid to dream or to hope because plans change all the time. And so many things that we have hoped would happen have not. And things have looked so different than we ever would have imagined. And so for me, I wasn't even going to do this. And some of the things that I put on my vision board for last year didn't happen. And it just felt like, I don't want to put it on there again, because what if it doesn't happen again? But then it was like, okay, but what if it does? And even if it doesn't happen and I'm still working towards it, I'm going to be further ahead if I keep moving towards it than if I just stop and give up. Like, that's what failure is giving up. And I don't want to do that. And so I thought, I need to redo another one. I need another one on my phone. I keep it right here. This is my last year's one, and I remade my new one for this year. But it keeps us focused on where we're headed, and it keeps us inspired for things. It keeps us like reminded of what it is that we want to do and accomplish, and maybe what God is asking us to run towards that seems really scary. And we get to celebrate as we do see some of those things come to fruition. Like even on this one last year, two things that did happen. Like one of the things I put on here just seems kind of silly. Like I wanted an elliptical, and I've wanted one of those for years, and that happened. And that was a goal. And it was like a dream to have that in my own house. Right. And so I just think that is awesome. And I'm going to celebrate that. Also, my husband and I got to take that 20-year anniversary trip, and that was on this board. And that was a big deal, to go away to Hawaii, one of my favorite places, and celebrate. And so when I get to look back, I can see, yep, those things happened. Maybe these other ones didn't, but there are things on there worth celebrating. And I love that. So also, one really big thing that I think is really important is that when we set really big goals or we dream, we get to inspire other people to do the same. And that's what People in Plexus did for me, was inspire me to dream or to think bigger or to think what if. And when we do this, we also get to inspire others to do this as well. And for those of us who are moms, we get to inspire our kids to do it too. So, in our families, like it starts small, but we can inspire so many more people along the way. So I just wanted to ask Terry if she would share what this process has done for her, because I don't know if you had ever done this prior to Plexus either. I don't think I've ever asked you that question. So what has doing this process for you? Like, what's that been?
Well, I don't think I ever dreamed before Plexus. I mean, I think that we we had family meetings about things we wanted to do, like, okay, well, where's our vacation going to be this year? And we'd have a vote, but there's only 3 people in our family. So it's not like it's, takes more than 10 minutes. But we didn't really dream as a family. And I don't think I dreamed at all. I was so in the day of the life, okay, get up, do this, do that, do that, do that. And at the end of the day, you're like, okay, did I check everything off of my list? Oh, I didn't. I'll just do those tomorrow. And it's like, then a whole nother day goes by. It was just like the cyclical, all these things I need to do. And I think when you're raising kids, you're kind of in that kind of season where it's like, hey, they got fed, they're still alive. That was my job today. So, but I never dreamed of traveling or like what happens after my kids leave. Like I never even thought about that. And now that is my life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been, I actually found my dream for when I was silver and I did it. It was like I think it was Kyle and Cassie. We actually did it on a board and I like have it. And one of the things on there is gold, this picture of gold. So I thought that was funny when I found it. And some of the things have come true on that board. And then like Jody, I have it on my phone too. And, I have a picture of Hawaii and that came true. When I put it on there, it's not, I wanted Hawaii as an emerald, but I still went to Hawaii based on doing all the things that I needed to do to get there. So, and like Jody, I have things on there that didn't happen. And so that is discouraging as well, not gonna lie.
Yeah, what is so interesting, even as we're reading this book, and it talked about sometimes God will give us a dream or something to work towards, and he knows that we're never actually going to achieve it, but it's what it does in us in the process. And it's about who we become in the process. And that too is worth it. And so I just have to remind myself, this is about who I'm becoming and the process, and not even just that, whatever that big goal is, right? And it's still valuable. Even if some of these things never happen, it's still so valuable. And
the book also
that matters.
Go ahead. The book also talks about how we also our dreams are also others' dreams too. That when we're dreaming those things, we pass those on. Yeah. Someone thinks they also can dream it, or they're part of our circle that, like Jody, she's our person. Her dream is to be Sapphire. Well, that's our dream for her too. Mm-hmm. And within our dream, our little dream of ranking up, it becomes her big dream. And I loved that we're all connected in that way, and that dreams that we don't even know are someone else's dreams as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I love that. Yes. I actually have a couple more quotes down below that I was going to share, but it is so true. It's never all about us, right? Like our stories are for other people and our dreams are for other people. And I may have a dream that I will never have come to fruition, but it plants a seed in someone else and it comes, to be for them. And that is so cool. So yes, we can do a phone one. And I would love it if everyone did create a phone one, and you can, use Canva, or I use Pic Collage because it's the easiest one for me. And then you can I think everyone should do a board one too, which mine is right up there on the wall behind me. I actually need to update it probably, but I don't take things off of it once they've happened, because for me, that's part of the celebrating, like that happened. And it's like a celebration board at the same time as those dreams and goals come true. And then each year I just put something else up there that I really want to be on that board. And so Joyce and Carrie, had you ever done this prior to Plexus? No. Yeah. It was just like what? It was so new. So I love that you'll get to do this maybe again for Carrie or Joyce for the first time.
Yeah,
But
I get to do it again.
yeah,
I loved my first one because I did some for a house and a car, and we needed a new car desperately. And I'm like, how are we going to afford it? So I threw it up on the board, and then actually later that year, it just fell into our laps. So for us, we were just like, okay, it's kind of like giving it to God. I'm like, okay, God, take this.
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
think it's going to happen, but here you go.
yeah.
And it happened. So I love vision boards.
It's so
Mhm.
awesome. And our kids get to see that, it's like,
Mhm.
and I love that we get to
Mhm.
bring them into it, or our husbands, our family,
Mhm.
even to, yesterday, um, sitting in the hot tub with my husband. And guys, that is like a dream board thing. And that never would have happened without Plexus. So I love that. It's like, okay, what is something that you're dreaming of for this year? And I hadn't asked him that. And he's like, I don't know. The last couple of years has done a number, right? And he's like, I don't know. I don't know what I want. And I think that that is another thing we have to ask ourselves is, what do I want? Even Jesus asked that question to people. He says, what do you want? And so to really sit down and think, I don't know. Sometimes we don't sit down and even ask ourselves enough, like, what do I want? So sit with that question. Like, I want to encourage you. And it can be really simple things, right? Or it can be really big things, but know what it is and make it a really big. Some of the things I have, on my vision board, they won't happen this next year, but I want to put things on there that are very possible also. So there's some like realistic factor, and then there's the big dream factor also. And what values do you want to be true? So think about all those things in there, but even more specifically with Plexus. So if we just think in the next year, what's coming up? And so for me, I thought, okay, I don't even know what do I want? What are my goals? So there's convention. Well, what do I want? I want to earn black tie gala. Like, that is going on there because that feels like a stretch for me this year. There have been years where that didn't feel like a huge stretch. It feels like a stretch this year. Maybe that's winner's dinner, that should go on your board. Or a few years ago, I was like, I am going to be one of those people that stands on that stage with that giant check. Like, that was on my board. And I got to see that happen. So thinking what's ahead, even Gold School. I would love nothing more than to see all of you and me. I want to go to Gold School because that means that I will have developed a level 1 gold, and then we all get to go to Gold School. I'm like, that is on my board because that didn't exist when we were there. How cool would that be to get to go to this event with your person? Or Rubies on the Rise. That's another thing. Or Emerald Extravaganza. So those are kind of the Plexus things. But even I was watching Emily Roberts, who she is one of those people, one of the first people I saw with a big check. And she inspired me to put that on my board. I thought, if she can do it, I can do it. And so, what is it for you? And she's like, there's some fancy purse that she wants. Like, that's not my thing, but maybe you just really want a fancy pair of shoes. It's okay to put that stuff on there. And then, what are the big things? So for me this year, a lot of the things that are on mine are people and experiences. So I have faces of you guys. You're on there. You 3 are on my vision board. And I want to see my team succeed. Like, that is so what I want. It's on my vision board. And the faces of my family, like my daughter's on there because college is not that far away. And my dream is to not have her go into tons of debt, right? Like, I want to be able to, help with college. And right now, that's not looking so good. So that's on my dream board. Things that I value, like the words that I put on there were restore. That's my word for the year. And I want to see God restore some different areas for me. And so those are just a few things that are on mine. Like, even put peace and purpose. Like, I want peace and purpose to be at the focus of all the things that I do. Simplicity. And there's some things that I'm going to lean into and for our team in this next season that I'll share within the next month that will bring more simplicity, I think. So things like central air, we like burned up last summer and we don't have central air. That's on my list. I want that really bad. And so those are just some things sharing personally, like what's on there for me. But I just want to remind us to not limit what God can do. We want to pray with the lid off the box, so to speak, not with it on there. You know, and I would love it if we don't set goals or like dream in secret, like share those things with other people, bring other people in. That makes it so much more fun when we do get to see those things come to fruition, and it will inspire other people. The two quotes that I wanted to share from this book, and Terry touched on them before, but he says, the best way to discover your dream is to help other people accomplish theirs. That's why what the mighty men did. And in so doing, their lives surpassed their wildest dreams. And that's why I have people on mine. Like it's all enmeshed, and we get to do it in community with other people. And then this last one, your greatest legacy isn't your dream. It's the dreams you inspire in others. You aren't just a dreamer, you're a dream catcher. And I love that. Like, we're not here just for us. Although I do think it's really important to ask the question, what do I want? And, you know, what do I want to be true for my life? And then we get to bring others into that process as well. So I would love to ask, before we're done though, if there are any dreams or goals that are going to go on your guys' boards this year that you're like, yep, I already know this is going on there. Or have you created it yet?
So I'm working on mine, but one of the things I found is a picture of a pocket watch, because for me, time. I mean, that is like my biggest thing because I work full time. And so one of the things that I dream about is time, and not having to ask for time off all the time and be told, no, you used up all your vacation. You can't go wherever you want to go. So that's not really like I mean, it's a thing, but it's not a purse. It's not shoes. It's like, for me, that is like way at the top of my list. And then also experiences like travel, and then just being able to see my kid. So she's on there.
What about you, Joyce or Carrie?
So for me, so Todd and I are in this new phase of life where the kids are all out and we're all, you know, they're all financially on their own, and we're actually looking toward retirement. It won't happen for a while. I'm married to a farmer, and farmers never retire anyway. But my farmer actually says that he will. So we actually went to Arizona specifically to look at areas that we might want to retire in, and what that might want to, you know, what we might want to look at. And we're talking to our financial guy on Tuesday. And so I'm not quite sure yet what I need, but I know that I'm starting to dream about the next stage of our life and getting us to that point and being able to really contribute to that in an extra way than just my day job. So that, you know, so I don't know if it'll be a retirement home or if it'll be snowbird home or what it'll be in Arizona, but I don't know what it will be. So that is going to be on mine. I've never done one of these before. I've known about them for years. I've had my students do them as a teacher, but I've never done one myself. And so I'm kind of excited to do it. But I like what you said about time, Terry, because I was thinking about that. And yet for me, it's not so much time because I have time. I just get distracted. I don't use my time wisely. I don't I'm not organized in that way. So I'm not sure that mine is that I need more time. Mine is more because I work full time as well. But in the evenings, I have great chunks of time that I can work on things. It's just sometimes I just let myself get distracted with other things, other events, family things, or television, or whatever it is. So that I got to figure out how I can put that on there. That because that would be so key for me. If I could get that. So I don't know if that's a dream but it's going to have to happen in order for the dreams to happen. So I have to think about that one. For me, Plexus is all about the trips. And so I definitely need to put some thought into that. It's not all about the trips. And that's the other part that I struggle with is I think about goals and I think about like ranks and things like that. And then I think, but that isn't what it is. It's how many lives do I want to change? How many, that's where it is. It's really, and that's where I want my focus to be, is the lives that are going to be changed, whether it's because they're changed by the products or they're changed because they somebody wants to run with a business, or it can help them financially, whatever it is. So those are dreams, and I don't know how to put those on there either, but I'll work on it. I'm excited. How about you, Carrie?
I haven't actually done it this year. I thought about doing it yet, but I haven't done it yet because I haven't really been trying to grasp where I was going to go. But a dream of mine is to actually pay for the school that we're putting our kids through without having to use the financial aid. That would be pretty amazing, and be able to afford it, really. I don't know. There's just a gold school would be nice. That would actually be fun. Don't know if I actually go, but I think it would be, if I put it on the board, I think I'd want to go. And there's a couple other things that I have in mind, but I don't know exactly how to put them on the board. But I've never done the phone one. So where do you guys actually put that when you do it? How do you do that? Do you put that on your, what is it called, the lock screen or the home screen? Because I have a whole bunch of stuff all over it, so I would never see it.
That is a problem. But what I did, because I do too, mine's all over. But when I very first touch my screen, it pops up. So I think that's
That's the lock screen.
the lock
Got
screen.
it. Okay.
So yeah, that's what I did. And then I created it in Pic Collage, and then I put it in,
That's
they
perfect.
have pre-selected cuter ones. So it had oh man, this is really hard to see. Hold
That's
on.
hard. Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, there. So
Oh,
it
okay.
has a little
Yeah.
border, and then all my pictures that I put in the middle,
Nice.
which is
Okay.
mostly people's faces and
Oh, okay.
the
Yeah.
beach, and things that are inspiring for me to look at. But so this one's more simple. The one that is on my wall that I love, it has quotes on it, and it has a picture of the world, because I want to travel all over. It has a picture of our compassion child, because my dream is still to meet him one day, and
Mhm.
I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but it has pretty pictures and other things on it, and you can do that on this one too. I just kept this one more simple because it's harder to fit it all. These are the main ones on here, but yeah, that's where I did it, was on that very first screen that pops up.
And hint, this was what Jody told me, to take a screenshot of it, because then you can make it right size. Because if you just put the Pic Collage on there, it doesn't go on there well. It doesn't fit very well. Screenshot it, then you can make it as big as you want.
Yeah.
So Jody told me that last year.
Yeah, that was trial and error last year.
She's our smart friend.
That's after you do the Pic Collage thing and you put it all together, then you take a screenshot of it.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's all kinds of ways to make it fun and cute, and you can put as much work into it as you want. But I just love that every time I click on there, I see those things and it reminds me. Yep. And the bear one is, in here, and my kids walk by it too, because it's in the laundry room / office. So they get to see it. And yeah, it keeps it at the forefront for us, which I just think is so important. So I love that, Joyce, you're going to get to do this for the first time. And it is funny because even that this is a good thing to do and you would tell students to do it, but we just don't do it for ourselves so often. And so now is the chance. The other thing is I want to encourage you to share it with, you could either put it in the team page in the comment section after I post this call, or you can share it in one of the chats, or if you're really brave, you can put it on your social media. So I don't know if people would look at mine and be like, like they'd see rubies and golds and they wouldn't know what that is really. But they could still inspire people like, oh, she's dreaming and setting goals for something, because most people don't do that. So just a bold suggestion if anyone wants to do it. And if you do, tag me. So tag all of us so we can see it. But do you guys have any other thoughts or questions on this?
I don't think so.
Well, thank you for showing up tonight. I love
Thank
seeing all
you.
your beautiful faces and getting to do this with you. And thanks for being a part of my goals and dreams, ladies, because your faces are on my screen. So
I love it.
all right, guys. Well, have a great rest of
Okay.
the night and a good week.
Thank
I'll see you
you.
next time.
Bye.
Bye, guys.